Saucy. Without a Crystal Ball, also known as Katie Joy, is a YouTube drama/commentary channel who is currently getting sued by Tati Westbrook for defamation after her YouTube channel recently covered a separate lawsuit in which Westbrook was allegedly involved in. Katie is shocked and horrified, and all the drama channels have been reporting on the drama. And then Katie, aka Karen, is like, oh hell no, not today, and is sending some drama channels privacy strikes and threatening lawsuits allegedly. So Without a Crystal Ball finally responded to Tati and James Westbrook's defamation lawsuit the other day. And guys, shit's getting intense. Emily D. Baker, a lawyer who is also a YouTuber, managed to get her hands on this lawsuit response on her channel and basically debunked it. And pretty much it sounds like Katie wrote the whole response herself. So first of all, we're going to investigate some of the juiciest parts of Katie's side of the lawsuit. So get your popcorn ready. Within Katie's side of the lawsuit, it basically states how Shane and Jeffrey are to blame for Tati not making sales with her Halo Beauty line. The lawsuit also covers how Katie was the first to respond on Tati getting sued by Swanson, her former business partner, hence filing a lawsuit against Katie. In the introduction it states, plaintiffs Tatiana and James Westbrook are prominent and notorious social media personalities and what is referred to as the beauty or beauty drama scene on YouTube. They are also members in Plaintiff Halo Beauty Partners LLC, Halo, which sells certain of their products. The Westbrooks have made large amounts of money by attracting attention from the media and the public. Since the spring of 2019, much, perhaps most, of that attention has been negative. Just a few minutes of searching on the internet yields numerous stories about the Westbrooks' recent, very public, self-made scandals and self-inflicted wounds. These include the scathing blowback they suffered when in May of 2019, Ms. Westbrook used her massive platform on YouTube to falsely accuse her most prominent business rival, the 19-year-old James Charles, of misconduct. Ms. Westbrook deliberately reignited that controversy when she returned to YouTube in June of 2020 to falsely blame two of her other rivals, the prominent social media personalities Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson, for coercing her into making the earlier defamatory accusations against Charles. She alleged that Star and Dawson engaged in this coercion as part of their far-flung and murderous conspiracy to clear the way for them to promote beauty and health supplements that would compete with Ms. Westbrook's. In the second video, which Ms. Westbrook states was approved by her legal team, she alleges that Star and Dawson are responsible for inflicting the severe personal and business injuries she suffered since May of 2019, and warned of coming litigation against them. Not surprisingly, Ms. Westbrook faced massive criticism for these outrageous allegations, and for her use of an anti-gay stereotype to harm a young competitor and boost her own sales. This criticism was rampant on social media, including from the most famous and widely subscribed YouTube personality in the world with 100 million subscribers, who goes by the name PewDiePie. The scandals that followed the two videos are referred to in the media, respectively, as Dramageddon 2.0. Dramageddon 1.0 was an earlier scandal involving other YouTube celebrities, and Carmageddon. The Westbrooks' troubles multiplied in October of this year when their business partner in Halo, Clark Swanson, sued them for $5 million in Los Angeles County Superior Court for fraud, improper diversion of corporate assets, and breach of fiduciary duty. Perhaps most to plaintiff's reputation was Swanson's sworn accusation that Ms. Westbrook boasted of her ability to use her celebrity to sell a shit product to her fans. That lawsuit, the filing of which was first reported by defendants Catherine Paulson and her corporation Without a Crystal Ball LLC, also received very wide coverage in both social and mainstream media. Just days after defendants broke the story of Swanson's lawsuit, plaintiffs filed this lawsuit against them in Seattle, presumably not by mere coincidence. They sued defendants for exactly the same amount as Mr. Swanson sued them, $5 million. They allege that defendants are responsible for the severe personal and business injuries they have suffered during this period of Dramageddon 2.0 and Carmageddon, simply by virtue of their reporting related to these events. This suit is part public relations stunt and part intimidation, designed to divert attention from the real sources of plaintiffs' troubles and to chill further negative reporting on them. The most obvious indication of that intent is the Westbrooks' decision to sue only defendants with their relatively modest audience and not the very prominent, wealthy and influential persons whom she, with her attorney's approval, publicly blamed for the very same injuries. Remarkably, plaintiffs name defendants, alleging they are unaware of their identity despite the fact that they, with their attorney's approval, publicly named Star and Dawson as the cause of those injuries. Putting aside the patent silliness of plaintiffs' attempt to blame a small YouTube channel located in Hanover, Minnesota for their injuries, the complaint should be dismissed now for several reasons. First and most importantly, plaintiffs have come nowhere close to establishing that this court may exercise personal jurisdiction over two Minnesota defendants who have zero relevant contacts with Washington state. Moving on from this, here we can see in the statement of facts, Katie/her lawyer clearly defends her actions. A. Background events lead to plaintiff's filing of this lawsuit. Ms. Westbrook falsely accuses a young rival of misconduct to an audience of more than 47 million. In the spring of 2019, Tatiana Westbrook publicly revealed that she was angry at her rival, the then 19-year-old prominent social media personality James Charles, when she learned that Charles was promoting a product that competed with Ms. Westbrook's own products. Def's request for judicial notice. Ms. Westbrook, 37 years old at the time, publicly described her relationship with Charles as one of mentorship and even akin to mother-son. Nevertheless, after thinking things through carefully, she decided that instead of speaking with Charles directly, the best way to deal with the perceived threat to her fame and her brand was to post a video on her YouTube channel with more than 9 million subscribers. In that video, she falsely accused Charles, an openly gay man, of coercing young straight men. The Westbrooks defendants and no one else in Seattle for the harm they previously claimed was caused by Starr, Dawson, and their Los Angeles-based conspiracy. Defendants were the first to report on the Swanson lawsuit after it was filed, declaration of Catherine Paulson. What followed was widespread media coverage of Swanson's claims, in particular the allegations and the evidence of Ms. Westbrook's cynical contempt for her customers and fans. That coverage exploded on social media, but also appeared in mainstream outlets such as Business Insider, MSN.com, Yahoo, News, MTV.com, and Reddit, with headlines such as Tati Westbrook sued for defrauding millions. Just days after defendants broke the story of Swanson's $5 million suit against the Westbrooks, seeking to deflect attention from those allegations and that $5 million claim, brought this lawsuit, ostensibly seeking $5 million in damages for injuries they allegedly suffered during Dramageddon 2.0 and Carmageddon. But they did not bring their claims against Starr or Dawson. Instead, they only sued Ms. Paulson and her small, solely owned LLC, both Minnesota residents. The complaint makes no mention of the Westbrooks' very public allegations that the widely famous influential Starr and Dawson and their Los Angeles-based conspiracy caused the Westbrooks' Los Angeles-based injuries. Instead, they now allege that defendants from Hanover, Minnesota, with their 135,000 subscribers, caused the severe emotional, physical, reputational, and business injuries because of their reporting related to the two scandals. And remarkably, they allege that their injuries were suffered in Washington, despite the fact that they live and conducted their business in Los Angeles, and the fact stated in the complaint that Halo is a Nevada corporation. Now, the rest of the lawsuit just basically goes over how Katie believes the Westbrooks failed to allege all these things about Katie, and she basically just defends herself. Here we can see it states, the complaint contains no allegations even suggesting this court may exercise personal jurisdiction with respect to plaintiff Halo's claim. The complaint must be dismissed for lack of diversity jurisdiction. The complaint fails to state a claim for intentional infliction of emotional distress. The Westbrooks failed to plead extreme and outrageous conduct. The Westbrooks fail adequately to allege severe emotional distress. The complaint fails to state a claim for negligent infliction of emotional distress. The complaint fails to state a claim under the Washington CPA. The complaint fails adequately to allege injury to the public. The complaint fails to state a claim for civil harassment. Lastly, in the lawsuit, Katie brings up screenshots of Tati's house on Zillow, and that proves it's public information, therefore she believed she had every right to bring this to light on her social media. Below is a screenshot from Zillow.com showing that the Westbrooks purchased their Sherman Oaks, California home in May 2020 and listed it for sale in September 2020. I accessed this website on December 2nd, 2020, and here it states, below is a true and correct copy of an August 18th, 2019 tweet posted to the Twitter account Glam Life Guru, which is the account used by plaintiff Tatiana Westbrook. Back in LA, excited to get home to snuggle with Puka. Now, since Katie's response to this lawsuit, the federal judge issued 2-minute orders in the Tati vs. Without a Crystal Ball case, which pretty much states how the day in court is going to look like. And now we have Tati's lawyer going on Twitter and getting heaps and heaps of evidence that's supporting Tati's case even further, and he will most likely be using this evidence in court. And by the looks of these tweets, Without a Crystal Ball is going to to be finished and most likely sued big time. Tati's lawyer had said if anyone from Washington State would like to sign a truthful declaration that they decided to not buy or support Halo beauty products due to statements made by Ms. Paulson about said products or the Westbrooks, please contact us to make the arrangements. Thank you. I understand that the lawsuit is happening in Washington, but I don't understand why this is limited to Washington since YouTube is a worldwide thing, and I am sure there were hundreds of people swayed by Without a Hairy Ball. Allegedly, don't come for me. It's not limited to Washington. We are simply looking for people who can confirm whether KJ caused damage to Halo in Washington through her conduct directed at residents of the state of Washington. The evidence is needed to respond to claims she has made in her declaration. If you need a truthful declaration from someone in Canada, I'm available by DM. We will need truthful declarations from people from everywhere to show worldwide damage. Our immediate need for information currently is for Washington, but please feel free to send us your story and information via email if you would like to tell it. I realize you are asking for Washington state citizens, but I would be happy to if you are able to add other states in on this declaration. I have lupus and struggle with hair and skin. I was very interested in the vitamins until I saw what Katie said about them being detrimental. Please feel free to email us your story and contact information, and we will see if it can be used for another aspect of the case. I was interested in buying the Halo vitamins for myself and my teenagers. I changed my mind after watching Without a Crystal Ball's video. That video scared me and I decided to not buy. I live in Washington State. Thank you. Can you email us your story and contact information? So what are your thoughts on all this drama? Do you think Tati will win the lawsuit? Let me know in the comments.